Unpause. Okay, Hatchet Gaming here, and today we have a few topics that we're going to talk about and discuss. 1.4 is here, and we're going to kind of go over some of the things that have changed, how it's kind of integrated in with the consoles, and see some of the changes that came like to certain gear sets, to certain gear, and how best in slot isn't necessarily the only option any longer. Because with all the changes and the balancing, there are more diversity in what you pick and why you pick what you pick. And it doesn't affect it to the point to where what are you going to do now because you are no longer at best in slot and you're not going to have the DPS output, or you don't have the best talents, so therefore you're not going to be able to make it in a build, or you focus so heavily on one thing or the other and you don't have enough to make up the difference. A lot of that has changed. So I just wanted to talk about that a little bit, talk about how some of the changes changed, talk about how it coming to console has created issues within the playability of the game, particularly in the Dark Zone. With stuttering, the client kind of freezes up and you end up having to restart, and then it still doesn't necessarily mean that you're able to do anything from it. The PC or the NPCs have been scaled better, and there are more challenges and ways of getting gear that make everything kind of in a way viable. So there really isn't a set way to get your gear anymore, which is nice. There's far more ways actually to do that, and that's one of the things I like most. But there are a few changes that I would have liked to see had come to console at the launch of 1.4 that certainly didn't make it, like the auto aim on shotguns, for example, or certain other weapons that are still not able to be used to any degree. With the stuttering and the lagging, it just makes everything kind of unplayable to a degree. I mean, I've played both on PC and on console, and the PC is definitely a lot smoother versus console, but I still wouldn't change it. I enjoy, because I'm primarily playing on console and I stream from the console right now. That's pretty much my bread and butter. That's where my content's going to be coming from, because my character is definitely more geared on console, because I've worked longer on console than I've worked on PC, as I primarily went to PC for the PTS, and now that the PTS is over, I'm pretty well waiting on being able to build my PC to get any kind of time back within the division on PC. So for now, I'm on console, and these problems that are facing consoles are really, really affecting how I play. Because I'm pretty much stuck out of the Dark Zone. I can't, if I try to go into the Dark Zone, it just freezes up and I have to power cycle, and it's just bad. It makes everything more difficult. So at least one thing is they gave us enough ways to where you can still gear up without the needing of the Dark Zone. But for those that like the PvP, like myself, I kind of miss it. And I can't get in there for any consistency, and when I do try, it's just I lag and end up having to restart 2 or 3 times just to get my character out of the DZ. And it's bad, which is what's promoting this video. Plus, the thing that one of the main things is that it doesn't seem to happen so much on PC, but now you can still one-shot people on console with shotguns. So they need to come up with some solution for shotguns, however it is they do it, to make where everybody isn't just running shotguns around just because that's what, if you don't have, it's pretty well going to screw you, because they're just going to rush up on you and kill you. Just, there's no defense to that. Even with high toughness, high health, good mitigation, it's still pretty well one shot, you're dead. At most 2. And that's, I don't think, where they intended this to be. And if they had done some type of beta weekend or a pre-release before the final patch came out, then this might have actually been caught beforehand and been able to have been fixed. And that's pretty well what we're going to talk about in this one. So, let's talk about 1.4. Gear score has changed. Gear score is now 229, which means all the gear sets got bumped down. And is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, to me, that's a good thing. I can't imagine the whole way they made gear sets higher than their equivalent high-end just kind of made all of it worse. And I didn't much like having, as it primarily forced you to use gear sets. 4 piece or 6 pieces. All your pieces had to be gear sets. And that just didn't work. So they found out it didn't work and fixed it, which is great. Much better. All in all. So now you could even have a full high-end build using the different skills on high-end pieces, which would now actually be viable and worth something. They did change the damage scaling on the Reckless chest. It's now only an 8% to 10% more damage. So to some degree, I'm not sure if that's really going to be worth it. I'll have to get a decent one and test it out some before I can really make a determination on that. But with everything that's been changed, that changed the vendors so they reset weekly instead of daily, and you can buy the sealed caches from them that have high ends, and you can, I don't know if you can get gear sets from them yet or not, because I haven't bought any. I'm still working on rebuilding my credits. Plus you can buy the gear sets for Phoenix credits, which I'm going to do a buy video and seeing what drops out of them once I max out the Phoenix credits, just to see what I can get. But for now, that's a totally different topic. It does kind of play into this, because it gives you more ways to gear up. So now all you'd have to do is kind of, once you get there, farm for Phoenix credits, and then you can instantly get gear sets at a random roll. Crafting. Crafting is now kind of slowly being brought back into it all because of the way everything has changed. You can get 229 blueprints now. The conversion rates are definitely better, and everything just kind of works more smooth, I think. And they changed a lot of the original gear sets: Tactician, Strikers, Sentry, as far as how their bonuses work, what their 2 and 3 pieces are, and how they interact. So that's been kind of modified to be more in balance with the game, and I like the changes. Sentry still works. It still works great. It may not be the set it used to be, but I still enjoy it. I enjoy the good Sentry set if I had enough pieces to make it worthwhile, but with some of the changes to gear sets being dropped down, I need a new piece to make for 4-piece, because my holster has been now dropped down to the 182, which doesn't help the build, makes it too low for tier 4 at least. So it's kind of you win some, you lose some with it, but overall, how 1.4 has changed things, I think is for the better. I think it's going to help this community grow, and there's no way that it wasn't good for everything with this community. So everything together gets brought together. There's more people that are able to kind of just pick it up. If they haven't played from week after launch to now, they're able to just pick it up wherever it is they left off, and they have ways to get gear. There's no more reason to have to have the 3 main best talents: Brutal, Deadly, Fierce, or Brutal, Deadly, Responsive, or some of the other ones that were best in slot talents with best in slot weapons. It doesn't necessarily require that anymore. So you can pick up weapons, whatever it is you had from before. Just pick them up, start using, start figuring out what works, what doesn't, what you like, what you don't, what's going to work with your build. Like right now, I'm working on a Predator's Mark build that I will do a video on later. But for now we're going to go on to the kind of more detail of the stutter and the shuddering and the lag that's been experienced on console. I play console. I said that earlier. I'm saying it again. That's where I'm streaming from, which the link to my channel will be in the description box below. And if you watched the video, I definitely appreciate a follow on Twitch. It greatly helps me out and helps me grow, so I can keep doing this for you guys. Keep with all of the videos and the support. It's overwhelming and I love it. Let's keep it going. So, gear changes. There is no longer the need to change your gear for restock, which is great. You can still have a lot of ammo, but it requires constantly using that 2-piece of Lone Star. which isn't a bad thing. I mean, if they're good stat pieces, it's going to help a lot. So there's 5 med kits, and the ammo percentage that's held on your chest piece in your backpack. That's how they're going to factor in your ammo. So maybe it's more. I still have a decent amount from using Lone Star, which I'm not going to complain at. I do need to get some more of the sets so I could put some other builds together and try and see what's going to work. But as far as everything goes, I actually enjoy it. And I enjoy how it changed. With the ammo economy, it is better. You don't have to have multiple pieces of gear just cluttering up your bag that could take space of gear you could actually use just to restock. That's great. The usage of getting the assignment crates is wonderful. The delay of bullet registry is not. Like, I noticed this last night when I was in the underground. I was soloing a challenging, and I would shoot. I know I hit him, and that particular hit, it took between 1.5 seconds and 3 seconds to start registering, because I was using a marksman rifle. I'd shoot, and then I'd duck back under the cover, and it took that long to register. Even if it was multiple hits, it still took 1.5 seconds to 3 seconds to actually register the damage on the NPC. And that's going to end up making the game unplayable. So it definitely went slower than it could have, but it wasn't as much of an issue as it could have been. Like, if, say, it was doing that in the Dark Zone, but I haven't been able to be in the Dark Zone long enough to say one way or another how it affects NPCs in the Dark Zone, or if it is. Or you have the people that are just, when you do manage to get in, you're pretty well instantly dying because of the people running around still with the sentry shotguns, striker shotgun, or shotguns are definitely strong with Predator's Mark and the bleed. Though the bleed with shotguns, yeah, it's great once you're up close, but you don't get the bonus damage. So at least so far with Predator's Mark, I think it's more effective with running the assault rifle and submachine gun, but that's primarily my go-to combo anyway. Sure, I'll use a shotgun from time to time because I enjoy them, but right now they're so far out of tune with the rest of the weapons that it's leading to no balance in the Dark Zone, which I don't think was intended. I'd like to see shotgun. This would be primarily how I would fix it. Strip out shotguns. Well, not really take them out of the game, but make a patch where they're pretty much stripped down, rework the damage, kind of tune the damage to where no matter how they do it, you aren't going to one-shot on console. Remove the aim assist, so you have to actually attempt to aim them more so than how they are being aimed now. Because now, all they have to do is just kind of pop the aim button, start shooting, and their shots are going to hit where they want them to hit without really having to aim anything because of the auto aim in PvP. Or at least it feels like there's an auto aim in PvP. I don't exactly have proof or evidence of this other than it feels like it to me. So that's how I would fix the whole shotgun issue. But on to, we've discussed 1.4 is here, we've discussed the shotguns, we've discussed the CZ, we've discussed shuttering. So what's left? There isn't really much left to go over. I appreciate everybody listening to my video, and if you'd like, leave a comment, give me your opinion, get a discussion going, because maybe as a community, if we come together, figure out something, then we could all present that to Massive and try to get 1.4 improved for the long-term health of this game. And I don't think anything really is going to help unless we help them with what's going on, as they said before that the shuttering issue with consoles was linked to the in-game voice chat, but the party chat wasn't affecting it. So I don't know how that's going to work, how they are going to exactly fix it, if it's more server side or client side, or if it's something in the code. But we're going to have to wait and see how that's going to go. And probably here soon we're going to get some survival news, I would think. Maybe not this week, maybe not the week after, but I'd say within the next 3 to 4 weeks we're going to have some clear information on survival, on information on how it's going to go, what it's going to entail, how much is actually true of what's been being said, and then we can form some opinions on that. But overall, 1.4 has been amazing. I enjoy playing the underground again. The field proficiency crates have been an absolute godsend, and have been it gives you something once you hit 30 to work for, and that's what I've been after since the start. There's no point in having an end game that just all progression stops. You need something that's going to entice players coming back, that like they want to get it, they want to keep playing. And I think the field proficiency, getting the crates that you get for completing the daily assignments and the weekly assignments, are going to be very good overall for the game. I'm going to have to work on the weekly at this particular point, but for now, this is Hatchet Gaming. I appreciate everybody that watches this video. If you can like, go ahead, like that video. If you don't, you know what to do. But leave comments. Tell me what you think 1.4 has done for the game. How do you think 1.4 is going to improve the game going forward, or did it not? There's also that side. There are all those players that don't think 1.4 improved the game. Tell me that. Tell me why you think that. I'd love to hear it. And then I can do a response video to that, and we can get a discussion going. And that's what we need for this community. So, this is Hatchet Gaming, and I am signing off. Everyone have a good day. The best way to get a hold of me is through my Twitch or my Twitter, and both will be in the description box. Links will be in the description box below. And everyone, have a great night.